just in Parkway News, a student, Maddie Shook, does not know what an exponent is, and she has a math test coming up. It's worth a lot of points. We're going to go to Maddie Shook and see what her thoughts are about it. Here we are with Maddie Shook. Maddie, how do you feel about the test coming up?
I'm distressed.
Heard it here first, folks.
Phone! Someone needs our help.
Hello? Okay, yeah. Okay, bye.
What is it?
Someone needs help with math.
It's time for a math rescue. Dun, 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 dun.
I don't know, study. We're here to help with math. So, the first thing you need to know about exponents is what a power is. A power is the product of multiplying a number by itself. Usually, a power is represented with a base number and an exponent.
Wow, I didn't know that.
So, that's the basics.
Next, we'll tell you
The properties of a power.
What are those? We'll let you know. Dun, 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 dun. Goodness. This is a power of a power. It's where you take this exponent and you multiply it by this. And then you get 2 to the 4th. And that equals 16.
How'd you get 16?
Because you take this and you multiply it 4 times.
Okay, I'm gonna ace this test.
Back to you, Lauren.
Thank you, Lexi. Stay tuned and we'll explain what a polynomial is, list the types of polynomial functions, demonstrate how to graph a polynomial on a graphing calculator, and explain synthetic substitution. A polynomial is an expression of more than 2 algebraic terms, especially the sum of several terms that contain different powers of the same variable. Now to you, Lexi.
A degree is the highest exponent in a polynomial. If the degree is 0, it is a constant. Example, the form would be f of x equals a to the 0 power. If the degree is 1, the type is linear. If the degree is 2, the type is quadratic. If the degree is 3, it's cubic. And if the degree is 4, it's quartic. Back to you, Lauren.
Okay, now we're going to learn how to graph polynomial functions on a graphing calculator. So get your graphing calculator out, kids. Okay, so you press on. That's how it turns on. Okay, and then you press the y equals button. Yep. And then you plug in your polynomial function. So say ours is x, we press the variable button. X cubed, so then you press the little caret and you press the 3. And then to get off the exponents, you press the side button. And plus 3x squared plus x. So once you have your equation written down, you just press the graph button and there's your graph.
Next, we'll be doing synthetic substitution. So you take the given, which is this number, and you put it right here. Then you make an upside down division box. You take this, you put it here. Then this, which is 1, you put it here. This here, and then this right here. Then you drop this down, and then you multiply these. You take the answer and you put it here, and then you add these. Then you do the same thing with this number, and then you put the answer here, add these, then you do the exact same thing with this number, add this, and then you get the answer.
In algebra, like terms are terms that have the same variables and powers. The coefficients do not need to match.
Now we're going to do adding polynomials. To add polynomials, what you do is you take the like terms, so you take t squared plus 5t squared, and you get 6t squared. And then you take this, and you add it with this, and you get minus 7t. And then after, you take this, and you get 6. And so this is your answer, well, negative 6.
Next is cubes of a binomial. So to factor this, you need to take the cubed root of each of these. So the cubed root of x cubed is just x, and the cubed root of 27 is positive 3. And then, that's not it, ladies and gentlemen. That is not it. You square the front, so you get x squared, and then you multiply these two, which would be 3x, but you change the sign, so it would be negative 3x. And then you square the back, so that would be positive 9. And that's your answer.
We'll be back after the break to give an explanation of factoring completely,
Example of sum or difference of two cubes,
example of factoring by grouping,
an example of factoring a polynomial completely. Come to a Kroger near you.
Factoring completely means to continue factoring until no further factors can be found.
Now we'll be doing factoring by grouping. So you take these two, and you take these two, and you separate them. You can take out a m squared out of this section, so you put that here, and you're left with 3m minus 1. And then you can take out a 3 out of this one, and you're left with 3m minus 1. These two are the same, so you can group them together. And then you take these two and put them in their own parentheses. And that's the answer.
This is finding the possible zero. For this, you take the constant and you list the factors. So the factors are 1, plus or minus 1, plus or minus 3, plus or minus 5, and plus or minus 15. And then you take the highest term, which is 1, and then you just, since it's the same, these are your answers.
Okay, so we're going to find all the real zeros now. So this is the equation, and these are all the factors of 18. So we're going to pick the number positive 6. You just pick a number, you're going to have to guess and check. So we're picking 6. Then you are going to do synthetic division. So then you write down 1 here, because that's the first number, and then you write down negative 4, negative 15, and 18. So you bring the 1 down, and 6 times 1 equals 6, and then you add those two together, so that's 2, and then 6 times 2 equals 12. So you add those two together, and you get negative 3, and 6 times negative 3 is negative 18. So there's no remainder, so you know that worked. So now you have to do x squared plus 2x minus 3. And to factor that would be x plus 3, x minus 1. And so then you add in the original x minus 6 because it's the opposite of this, because x minus 6 then it would be x equals 6. So all the zeros are -3, 1, and 6.
Thank you for tuning in to Algebra 2 News.